Want to see a movie that strips humanity down to its raw, bloody instincts? Definitely watch The Hills Have Eyes. Wes Craven's brutal 1977 cult classic pits one average American family against another. Only this time, survival means becoming just as savage as the people that are trying to eat you. Written, directed, and edited by Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes was Craven's follow-up to his infamous debut, The Last House on the Left. Inspired by the legend of the Scottish cannibal clan led by Sawney Bean, Craven asked a chilling question. What happens when so-called civilized people are pushed beyond their limits? And maybe more importantly, are they really that civilized to begin with? We start with the Carter family, classic suburban Americans on a road trip through the Nevada desert. There's Bob and Ethel, their kids Brenda and Bobby, their older daughter Lynn, her husband Doug, their baby Katie, and their two German shepherds, Beauty and Beast. They make a quick stop at a rundown gas station run by a man named Fred, who warns them not to stray from the main road. But after some confusion with their map, the family ends up taking a scenic route that turns out to be a trap, literally. Hidden spikes shred their tires and send them crashing off the road, stranding them in the middle of nowhere. Right away, the dog sense something is off. Beauty bolts into the desert, and when Bobby chases after her, he finds her mutilated corpse. But instead of telling his family, out of fear and confusion, he stays quiet. Meanwhile, Bob heads back to Fred's for help, and that's when the real horror begins. Fred reveals that his own son, Jupiter, was born incredibly strange and violent. He killed animals as a kid, then murdered his sister. Fred attacked him with a tire iron and left him for dead in the desert. But Jupiter survived. He found a deranged woman known as Mama, and together they raised a pack of feral children, Mars, Pluto, Mercury, and their daughter Ruby, surviving by robbing and cannibalizing unlucky travelers like the Carters. Before Bob can react, Jupiter bursts in, kills Fred, and drags Bob back to his hideout to be crucified. Wes Craven based the Jupiter family on the real-life legend of the Sawney Bean clan, who were said to have killed and eaten over 1,000 people in the 15th century Scotland. Craven used this myth to reflect on the idea that savagery isn't so distant, it's just hidden under layers of suburban comfort. Back at the trailer, chaos erupts. Pluto sneaks in and signals Jupiter to set Bob on fire, a horrific distraction. While the family rushes to put out the flames, Mars and Pluto break in. Mars violently assaults Brenda. Then, when Lynn and Ethel return, Mars kills Lynn and mortally wounds Ethel. Pluto kidnaps baby Katie. The next morning, the Carter family is in ruins. Bob and Lynn are dead. Ethel dies soon after, and Brenda is left traumatized, but something shifts. Doug, the soft-spoken son-in-law, snaps. He is going to get his daughter back. Meanwhile, the family's other dog, Beast, becomes kind of a desert warrior. He kills Mercury by throwing him off a cliff, and later tears Pluto's throat out. Beast honestly deserves his own movie. Doug tracks the mutants back to their cave. Ruby, the only one of them who shows any compassion, steals baby Katie and runs. Doug follows, but Mars isn't far behind. The two fight, and just when Mars seems to have the upper hand, Ruby intervenes. Doug stabs Mars repeatedly, even after he's clearly dead. Meanwhile, Brenda and Bobby prepare for their final stand against Papa Jupiter. Knowing he's coming for them, and knowing they're running out of time, the siblings use their mother's corpse as bait, propping her up in a chair outside the trailer, hoping Jupiter will take the bait and step into their trap. They rig a wire connected to a sharp, spring-loaded weapon designed to injure or slow him down. But when Jupiter arrives, the first trap fails to work as planned. It only grazes him. Wounded but still alive, Jupiter keeps coming. Panicked, as Jupiter is now enraged, Brenda and Bobby retreat into the trailer, where they prepare a second trap, They connect a makeshift explosive to the trailer door. It's simple. If Jupiter opens it, the whole thing will explode. And it works. When Jupiter finally reaches the trailer and pulls the door open, the trap detonates. Bobby insists he goes and makes sure that Jupiter is dead. However, to my mind-boggling surprise, he manages to survive and briefly attacks Bobby with the last bit of life he has in him. It's all over though when Brenda stabs him repeatedly with an axe. Bobby shoots him, ultimately killing him. It was a final battle of victory, which the Carter siblings managed to win through their brains, fast thinking, and hidden savagery. It's a violent, heartbreaking end, not just because it's brutal, but because it shows how far the Carter kids have fallen. They're no longer just trying to survive. They're setting traps, using their mother's dead body, and blowing people up. Whatever innocence they had died in that desert too. The movie ends with Doug bloodied and shaking, holding Katie, and the remaining survivors come together. We are left watching the brutal, almost primal stare into the abyss, and the abyss staring right back. What makes The Hills Have Eyes so chilling isn't just the gore or the violence. It's how thin the line is between normal and monstrous. The Carter family starts as wholesome and innocent, but by the end, they've had to embrace the very violence they were running from. Wes Craven said the film is about the breakdown of civilization and how quickly that breakdown happens when we're taken out of our comfort zones. You can also read it as a critique of American exceptionalism. The Carters, middle class, Christian, assume safety because of who they are, but the desert doesn't care. In a way, Jupiter's family is a twisted mirror of theirs. The difference? One was left behind by society, the other coddled by it. Michael Berryman, who plays Pluto, became one of the most iconic horror actors thanks to his role. Born with 26 birth defects, Berryman's unique look gave him a striking presence. But he was actually super kind and soft-spoken in real life. He filmed in 100+ degree desert heat, without eyebrows, hair, or sweat glands. Thanks for watching. The Hills Have Eyes is a grim fairy tale about what happens when the American dream hits a dead end. What Craven shows us is this: sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we become. I hope you have a blessed day.